I was like bad back then on Neon. So after that year or two of Neon not being played, I just started playing it because there's nothing else to do. I already know how to play Raze. I know how to play Jet. I mean, Reyna wasn't really in meta. Phoenix wasn't really in meta. But I learned how to just play my Neon.
Hey guys, this is Pedro back with another interview covering VCT America Stage 2. For this occasion, I'm here accompanied once again by jawgemo of Evil Geniuses who are coming off of a victory over Furia in said competition. jawgemo, thank you so much. Like I said before, usual question as I do for every interview. How are you feeling? What's your thought process like coming off of a series like that?
It's definitely like a stepping stone for our teammates, especially my teammates. We're getting in the groove of becoming the regular season warriors. Our next step is just win game by game right now, make it to playoffs, and then whatever goes from there.
For sure, it was definitely another great performance from this EG squad, or much more dominant one compared to the previous one against Loud. Just sort of, I mean, from your point of view, just sort of what made it such a lopsided affair in favor of you guys.
Yeah. Wait.
Uh,
Why was it a
what,
lopsided affair? Sorry.
yeah, yeah. What made it such a dominant affair for you guys? Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Um, we came in knowing like they have nothing to lose. We have nothing to lose. And we were just playing how we practice. We make sure that we. I mean, there was a few rounds we had kind of had fun, a little troll, but those rounds are something that we could fix so easily, and it makes the team just build a bond that you don't get from practicing. When you do that on stage, it helps out a lot of us realize like, oh, we can have fun, but sometimes we gotta buckle down and get back to work. So I think that's what kind of got us into that mindset of like just being very confident today.
And it definitely showed for this team, and especially for yourself. Playing the neon, and of course your signature race. I mean, continuing your form, individual form from that first series against Loud. Just sort of walk me through your individual form and just out of, I mean, what led to you just continuing to play so well for you in particular.
Yeah. Right now, like last year was a little bit. Took a while for us to like, for me to get like trust in the team, learning the util, especially because I was playing two roles too. So now like I don't have to focus on like having smokes out for other people. I have to just worry about my own game. So I think that's the best thing about being like the main duelist on a team is like you get to practice whatever you want. You get to practice how you want to play, and then on top of that, if you have teammates that can trust you and you trust them, it'll just the sky's the limit. 'Cause I know my boys got my back, so anything I do, anything I call, they're right there with me, and we're just here to be the best and better ourselves every day.
Interesting. You brought up just your type of performance or type of practice. Exactly what do you kind of do in order to just kind of experiment, innovate, and just kind of play how you want to play? In your new-ish role by this point, because of course now you've been playing this for so many games now.
Yeah. Practice how I play is like more of like a just being confident with like what fights I want, where I want the util. Um, you know, Coach Potter definitely helps out with a lot of it as well. She tells me like this is better for you if you did this. Um, Other situations like oh you should have took this timing. It's like getting those small things down that you don't see from a lot of coaches. I would say a lot of coaches kind of tell you the macro and paint the picture for you, but no one wants to take the next leap and do the next step because sometimes it's hard. Like you don't know if it's the right move, but sometimes in this game you don't need to know if it's the right move. You just gotta make sure you're doing what you want and think is correct. And I think Coach Potter definitely helps out with a lot of that. And yeah, I mean that's just how it's been for the past like couple years I've been with her. So yeah.
Yeah, and as I said before, this is a continuation of your individual form, a vast contrast, but for the better, just in terms of just your performance so far in 2024. I remember talking to you back earlier on, sometime at the start of stage one, I think sometime in kickoff around that time, and you sort of
Mhm.
mentioned about how you kind of been struggling and just having to accommodate yourself in that duelist role from your past roles back in last year in that same EG squad. Now it feels like you are well comfortable, and now you feel you're definitely playing to the potential that Potter and the rest of your other teammates have been kind of seeing in you. And
Yeah.
so, talking about that, when did you feel that kind of switch? When did you make that kind of switch from struggling to now? Okay, now I'm good. Now we can just Let's fucking go.
Yeah, the end of that, I think it was NRG we played last. You know, kind of getting that confidence from beating my old teammates. That definitely helped me a lot. It proves that I can, you know, I'm here to play. I think that's what got my mindset, like, you know, going good and making sure I'm confident. And then through that break, you know, watching Shanghai, we were just watching it, you know, as a team. You know, we were watching it together, but you know, the rounds that we like from them, you know, it kind of helped us and helped me like damn, you know, I've been on international for the whole year last year, so like I was like, guys, like I can't miss out, you know, like that was my mindset, and that's kind of what my goal is, and kind of brought that to my teammates' attention as well. Like we missed the first two events, it's fine, but we have the you know we have a bigger picture ahead of us, and you know we're grinding for one thing only now instead of before we were like not getting lucky because you know Loud beat G2. You know we lost to the and kickoff to I forgot what team it was. I think it was Loud too. I think,
Mm.
and just kind of having those regrets and understanding that we can't let that hold us back, and we just got to show that we can become the best as long as we practice and show how we play when we get on that stage and the confidence that we built up over this last few months together. You know.
Going a little back onto just your words on watching Masters, what do you think of some of the biggest takeaways and observations you made from just watching everyone else participating in that competition? You know, stuff like that.
Yeah, I think people forget like whenever you fly out, it's a different area and a different like setting of play style, and I think that's where I shine the most, and that's kind of why I told myself in my head like I'm gonna shine the same way I would do on the big stage, like which is international stage. So kind of brought that to my attention after we beat NRG. I was like, wait, I'm doing what I used to do. You know, I'm just kind of having that focus of like, wait, I used to be like insane, or I was insane, and I could still be insane because you know, watching people's vods, watching yourself at sometimes, and watching other players that are excelling as well. You have to balance yourself when you know you're bad, when you know you're good, and when you know you can be like your peak form. So if you can kind of like have all those ideas in your head and be confident, not confident, and you know, in the middle ground, whenever you're not having a good day, I think that's where I've learned to like uh, polish it out and become like how I am now.
So it was like a reaffirmation of just yourself. You know, just of the
Yeah,
things that you can do, right?
yeah,
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I want to ask about just your how you've been kind of working through this new meta of just specifically on the duelist role. You know, with Neon now being more present and a little bit of ISO as well. And of course, you played those two agents so far in this stage. In addition to your usual race, just sort of how you've been kind of been working around this new changes to the game and how it kind of been affecting your role and just stuff like that.
For like the ISO, we knew it was kind of like you know a really good agent coming in, especially people playing ranked, and you know we had the idea of like, all right, we can just play ISO on some maps, you know. I basically do the same thing on ISO I would do on Neon Arrays, you know. So it's like as long as I know how to like control what I want to do on that agent, you know, I can make it work. And I mean, it didn't go in our favor on like Lotus against Loud, but you know, it showed potential, and that's kind of what we like to see. It's just a stepping stone for us to improve. Neon is just like I used to love Neon back then when everybody didn't play Neon. Like Baby Bay was like one of the few people that like Neon. I think I played one Neon match in my whole like career before this, and I remember just like dying to every trip and stuff like that. I was like bad back then on Neon, so after that year or two of Neon not being played, I just started playing it because, you know, there's nothing else to do. I already know how to play Raze. I know how to play Jet. I mean, Reyna wasn't really in meta. Phoenix wasn't really in meta. But, you know, I learned how to just play my Neon whenever it's time. And then, you know, watching all these content creators like Temet, you know, Shiro, you know, these people love Neon. So, you know, I just took some of their stuff, learned how they play it. It's not the best way all the time, but it could be the best way whenever it matters. So, you know, that shows a lot of confidence from them. That's like their best, you know, their best player, their best character that they have. So I just try to do that in my own attributes and, you know, do my own game style with it. And Ray is getting nerfed, you know, I mean, it's not really a nerf. I mean, it's a nerf and in the fact of like scaling, but it's just like, you know, unlucky, you know, like it's a little debuffed and I don't think it's that bad. So I can still do whatever I want on that character, you know, so it's fine.
Going a little bit into stat lines real quick and just you know you had this whole 22, 21, 3 first kills, first death ratio, very good ratio, might
Yeah,
that. I would say continue that up to now have an overall total KD first kill, first death ratio of 31 to 6. I mean, you
mhm,
kind of already mentioned about just how the team has been supporting you and just letting
yeah,
you do these kinds of things and then some. And so,
mhm, yeah.
just sort of, what does that say about just how the team has been performing in terms of just allowing, just supporting you, uh, do your stuff while also just growing as a team, just being such a formidable forward, something that is starting to resemble the likes of 2023 EG.
Yeah. Feels good. Having those first because I think like the ISO helped out that stat line a lot. But even even if it did, it still shows that like even if I'm not alive, let's say I died a few times on those first bloods. I think we converted some of those rounds when did die. So it's definitely nice to have a few different protocols of me dying or not dying, and just having that backup plan. Like because we're still a team. It's not all about me as well. Like we still have that team that will win us the post plan, will win us the retake and stuff like that. So it's nice to get the first blood for them, and I think it gives them the confidence to do whatever they need to do when they retake or when they exec. And I trust my team to and I'll give them the because I like talking when I'm dead in the round, and I'll set up some plans whenever I die, so I can help the team do what's best, what I think is best. Because like I said, they do trust me, and I do trust them whenever they say the same thing back. Because not all of us are 100% when we play. So when somebody gives you that the idea or the hint of what you should do, we just take that and we make sure we multiply and we do good on it. So yeah, or excel on it. Sorry.
Yeah, and this team has definitely been doing well on that, including for yourself so far, as I mentioned so many times in this conversation. And that said, I'm going to wrap it up here. Hopefully you guys can continue doing this form for your next
Yep.
match in Super Weekend and everything else after that. Jogimo, thank you so much
Cool.
for taking the time doing this interview once again. And of course, best of luck goes to you.
Thank you, Pedro. Have a good day. Okay. Thank you.